I didn't want to do it. I tried everything that I could to avoid having to make the decision. And I don't know, maybe you can understand what I'm talking about. I made adjustments. I tried to negotiate. I looked inwardly and tried to work on myself. I did everything that I knew that I could possibly do. And yet I couldn't overcome the problem. I just couldn't get past it. And so one day what happened is I woke up and I quit. And it's the best decision that I've ever made in my entire almost 2 decade teaching career. And I want you to know that you can do it too. And it'll be the best decision that you've ever made. So if you haven't met me yet, my name is John and this is Teacher Talk. We're a faith forward space where we take biblical wisdom combined with research and evidence-based practices to restore joy to the classroom one teacher at a time because we don't think teaching should be this hard. So the interesting thing about quitting is that I didn't tell anybody that I quit. In fact, I'm not even sure that anybody even noticed that I quit. And part of the reason why is because I go to work every single day. I still greet students. I still show up in the staff meetings. I still do all the things that a teacher is supposed to do. It's just that I do them differently. And so if you're wondering why did I say I quit? If I still go to work, why did I say I quit? And the reason why is because I did what's called quiet quitting. And quiet quitting is what the research calls as a silent rebellion. Only I want you to know that this isn't a rebellion on my part. And I'm not the only one. As a matter of fact, a study done by Merritt College put out that 44% of teachers in America are quietly quitting. They're just not saying it, just like me. Rather, what I'm doing is I am putting a priority on the contractual agreement that I have between me and my district. So, whatever it is that's in my contract, that's what has priority now. So, there may be a few things that you're wondering. Number one, what is quiet quitting? Number two, you may wonder why are teachers or why are so many teachers quietly quitting? And number three, how can I quiet quit? So, the popular definition of quiet quitting is doing the bare minimum to keep from getting fired. But that is not the definition that we use because we think that our students deserve more than just the bare minimum. Plus, as we mentioned before, we are a faith forward space, and so we think differently on issues. A faith forward definition of quiet quitting is meeting your contractual obligations with excellence, within reason, and without guilt. So the reason why teachers are choosing to quietly quit, it's really a twofold problem. Teachers feel confined to the profession. 66% of teachers say that if they could find another opportunity outside of the classroom in another profession, that they would take that opportunity in a minute. But most teachers don't believe that they can actually step outside of the classroom and find another opportunity. The second reason is a result of systemic issues in the education system itself. And there are three. Number one is unmanageable workloads. Just the paperwork, the accommodations, the IEPs, the 504s, and the state and federal unfunded mandates that are eventually dropped onto the shoulders of the teacher are far beyond what any one human being can do. Number two, there's post-pandemic burnout. Currently, the research says that 59% of teachers feel burned out. That's over half of the nation's teachers. More than that, over 270,000 teachers are leaving the profession every year to never return back to the profession. And number three, it is the chronic disrespect that teachers have to put up with. If it's not disrespect from a student, which is bad enough, it's disrespect from the students' parents who refuse to hold their students accountable. But then on top of that is having to deal with oftentimes the disrespect that comes from administration when the administration will not support and back the teacher in important scenarios. And so at the end of the day, where teachers are at is they're just simply fed up. And so they just quit. But they don't tell anybody. Nobody even knows it. So before all the haters jump in, let me just say that teachers love their students. On top of that, teachers actually love their jobs. We love what it is that we do. We just can't stand or deal with the things that are being placed up on top of us. So from that perspective, quietly quitting is the best thing that teachers can do for their students. So in order to be able to quiet quit, we have to be willing to commit ourselves to doing some things that are a little bit unconventional and things that we wouldn't have normally have done in the past. And the very first thing that has to be committed to is contract hours only, but planning like a pro. The ideal here is to limit our work to only the things that we get paid to do without sacrificing quality or excellence. And here are a few suggestions in order to make that happen. Number one, and it may seem obvious, is actually work the contract hours only. When the day is done, pack up your stuff, walk out the door, and go home. Number two, use batch planning and things like reusable templates in order to be able to get ahead. And this is going to take some work on the front end because you don't want to batch plan just a week and you don't want to be just a couple of days ahead. Ideally, you want to be an entire month ahead. And so, yes, it will take some work on the front end, but on the back end, it'll come in handy for you. Number three, schedule all of your assignments ahead of time. You can use things like Google Classroom or Canvas in order to do that. Google Classroom is a great place to house your assignments. It's a great place to house your tests. Ideally, because you only have to make them one time and then everybody else has them. And you can even grade inside of Google Classroom, and some districts enable you to connect your Google Classroom to your gradebook. If that's possible for you, that's something that you should do. And number four, design assessments so that they act as quick checks and also as grades at the same time. For instance, you can have things like interactive notebooks, you can do KWLs, you can do 3-2-1s, you can have exit tickets. There's all types of different things that you can do, and you're knocking out two things at once. One, you're checking for mastery, and number two, you've put a grade in the grade book. So the writer of Ecclesiastes makes it clear there is a time for everything. There's a time to laugh, there's a time to cry, there's a time to work, and there's a time to play. And the idea is that in life, there have to be rhythms. And part of what we're talking about here in this idea of working only the contract hours but planning like a pro is to create a rhythm. And it's a rhythm of we come to work, we work very hard, and then we stop. And we stop when we're supposed to. We don't keep going because we feel like we have something to prove, or we feel like we can't let people down, or we feel like we have to somehow save the entire world or rescue every student. That's not our calling. Our calling is to be an effective teacher. And number two, say no to unpaid extras without guilt. And the idea right here is selective engagement without overcommitment. So the idea here is to stop volunteering for everything that comes along. And as teachers, it's so easy to guilt us into volunteering because every school I know of is short. And also, we don't want to be labeled as the one that's not the team player. We don't want folks to think that we're selfish and things of that nature. And so automatically guilt comes along with it. However, we got to have a filter that we view things through before we give our assent to doing things. And here's what I would want you to do. Before you volunteer for anything, I want you to ask yourself, does this fit the mission and vision that I have for this year? And do I have the capacity or the time in my calendar to actually complete them? So again, I think the scripture is very clear here. In Galatians chapter 6, it says, test your own actions, for each one should carry their own load. And there's the key. It's not that we don't want to help others, and it's not that we don't want to lend a helping hand and to be a team player, but at the end of the day, we do have to carry our own load, and sometimes that load is far too heavy already, and adding one more thing on top of it will cause us to completely crumble and collapse under the weight of it. And number three, focus on relationships and not on performances. And the idea here is to let perfectionism go and focus on student connections in the classroom. And there's three ways that you can do that. Number one, create routines that run on autopilot. And the reason why routines are important is because kids need to know what is the expectation, what it is that they need to do whenever they come into the classroom, and how it is that they're supposed to accomplish those things. And when we take some time to teach those things on the front end and our kids learn them, they just run on autopilot, and it makes our day a whole lot easier. Number two, create procedures for your students and for yourself. And the reason why this is important is because it'll cut down on the amount of decisions that you have to make every day, and it'll help eliminate decision fatigue. And if you can eliminate decision fatigue, you'll be a whole lot less irritable, and it's easier to make connections with students when you're not irritated. And number three, take time to check in on students one-on-one, either in the classroom with a one-on-one check or out in the hallway during class change, or go down to the cafeteria and sit and speak with them one-on-one, because that helps build connections, and connections equal trust. So, teachers, I have no idea where you're at on this journey, and I hope that this helped you just a little bit. But that's the reason why we created the Teacher Talk community. You can find a link for it down in the description box. Also, down there is our 5 days to restored energy. It's free, it's 100% free, and it's always free. Go down there, grab it. Also, keep up with us on our podcast that comes out every Tuesday: Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Amazon Music. Now, if you happen to be a first year teacher, YouTube wants you to watch this video next. If you're a veteran teacher, YouTube wants you to watch this video next. Now, before we go, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, push the notifications, and keep up with Teacher Talk. But most of all, keep teaching.